Now see, this is the man we all need to know right here. You got a money mask on.
That's just a mask too.
That's what I told him when you got it, you wanted.
Robin, do we have any appellants here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. Okay. We'll go ahead and get started then. We are the 2020 Board of Equalization and Review for Union County. We've been appointed by the county commissioners to hear any and all taxpayers with respect to concerns or complaints regarding the valuation of their property for tax purposes. Property owners appearing before the Board of Equalization and Review have the right to a fair and equitable hearing. The Board of Equalization and Review has been charged with ensuring that the proper legal principles have been applied in an evaluation dispute for tax purposes. The format for the hearing is as follows. The clerk calls the case, locates the property, and explains the situation. The appellant presents his or her case. The assessor's office offers defense. Both parties will be given an opportunity to rebut or conclude their comments. All questions from either party shall be directed to the chairman. The board will rule on the case or table it and inform the taxpayers when it will be reopened. The taxpayer will be notified in writing of the board's decision. By statute, the burden of proof is on the taxpayer to demonstrate that the assessment is erroneous. Please silence your cell phones, and I got to do that. And if there's not any questions, let's start the proceedings.
Okay, tax parcel number 04123017, Jeremy Presley.
Good morning, Mr. President. If you can just come up here and speak into the microphone and address the board. Thank you.
Okay. How are y'all doing?
Good morning.
Good, good. So I've spoke with Mr. Crump. I received some letters. Well, I had a tract of land. Let me rephrase. I had a tract of land that was given to me by my mother. This was supposed to be given to me a long time ago. We finally went to the lawyer's office last year, signed some paperwork, and I was not expecting to get all that land until 2021. My mom had it in the farm program, and she said she was taking care of everything with it. I had no idea what was going on with all this stuff when she transferred it over to me. I haven't spoken with my mom a whole lot in about probably a year, a little bit more than a year. We just do not get along. And this land thing has been a problem for a while. When she put it in my name, she said that, at that time, she said, I'll take care of all the farm program stuff. She said, nothing's changing. The farmer, Joey Cox, will still be farming it. She said, I'm going to take the money off the land, still, pay that back to the taxes. And I have never had anything to do with the taxes. Everything was under Brenda Presley at the time. So I come home from work one afternoon, and I had a tax rollback bill that was it was actually laying on my kitchen table. My wife said, here, you need to take care of this. I had no idea that, it went back for 4 or 5 years, whatever it was, for I can't remember the amount of money. So that's when I contacted Mr. Crump here and asked him, what was going on, what do I need to do. He kind of explained to me that, I'm supposed to got something to put it back into the farm program, and I have never seen that paperwork. He had some documentations that had a signature on it. The signature was not mine. I don't know who signed for it or anything like that. I did get the tax bills, but I did not get that document stating to put the thing back in the farm program. So when he sent me those signatures, I took a look at it, and I said, those aren't mine. I don't know who signed for it. It's a certified mail that come to my house. I've got a 13-year-old son. He can't write in cursive. I got an 8-year-old son. Of course, he can't write in cursive. I asked my wife, and it's not her handwriting. I asked my neighbors, it's not their handwriting. So I don't know who signed for the paperwork, but if I would have seen the paperwork, I would have signed it and got all this stuff back in the tax program or the farm program. Like I explained to him, if I would have seen it, I would have put it out there. And I don't mind paying for something. I just had no idea. I was blindsided with the whole thing on this, and so you know, whatever we need to do. Nothing's changed in the farm program. Mr. Cox is still farming the land. I spoke with him about last week, and actually he reached out to Mr. Crump as well, and let him know that nothing changed on it. But that's where I'm at on this. I've never gone through any of this. I have no idea, and so just whatever y'all can do to help me get it back into the farm program, I'd appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Presley.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for Mr. Presley?
No, other than, I know he's got some signatures, if y'all would like to see those signatures, because I sent him some stuff that I had to make sure that, I promise you, I'm not lying about that. If y'all want to see the differences in those signatures, he's got the documents on that as well, too.
Now, did I hear you say that you were aware that there was a tax bill every year that you were receiving?
Only thing no, I've got a, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. I got a rollback bill is what I got in there, but I don't know what else I had. I didn't have anything. I'm trying to think. There was one bill that come through that I saw that come in there, and I asked my mom about it, and she said, well, I've taken care of all the tax stuff on it for this year. I said, did you go to the county and you pay the tax stuff? I said, I do not want to end up losing my job because I work for the county as well. Said for, this problem right here. She said, I've taken care of everything. You're fine. So at that point, I had no idea what else was going on. So
When did she, and I can look through here, but when did
Yes,
she
sir.
deed you the property?
I believe it was, on this right here, was 2/20 of 2019. When we went to the attorney's office, Mr. Lee over here, all that land was not supposed to be awarded until April of 2021. What it was my grandmother's land, and when my grandmother died, that land went to my mom. It was supposed to go to me. She died one day before she got the will signed, the old will, so everything kind of screwed up, and Mom got everything, and it was a nightmare. So my dad died about 12, 13 years ago, so ever since then, we've had issues, and so. But-
All right.
Okay.
I got one.
Yes, sir.
So you mentioned the use value application for you. The county's got it, it's been signed, but it's not your signature, somebody else signed it.
That, yes, sir. The paperwork that come to my house, that he's saying, that Mr. Crump was
Yeah.
saying that we had or whatever, was that paperwork that's in question? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But I did not sign that, no, sir, and I never saw it. I've never seen that piece of paper before,
Right.
and so.
Just to clarify, it wasn't the farm application that somebody else signed, it was a certified mail signature.
Right.
That was somebody else's signature, not the taxpayer.
Where somebody signed for it.
Right.
Yes, sir,
Right.
yes, sir.
Okay,
For
that's what I was trying to get
For the
straight.
board's
Sorry.
clarification, when somebody is getting ready to be rolled out of the present use value program, we send a certified letter notifying them, and we send it by postal.
Okay,
So regular mail and certified mail.
Okay.
What we're talking about is that the certified mail signature was not Mr. Presley's signature.
right, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Robin, is there a chance the mail, the regular mail went to his mother?
We checked the address and it shouldn't have,
Okay.
but
I just didn't know if you had his address on file at that time.
yes, we did.
Okay.
Because we would have gotten the address from the deed transfer. That's
Robin
basically
used,
what
Robin,
happened with all
step
of
up to the mic.
I can wait, I can hear.
Well,
So-
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not being recorded. I'll let Steve present the facts on our side.
Okay.
Is that?
Anything else for Mr. Presley?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Steve, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Do you have the outline that I gave you?
Yeah.
Should be in the packet. Okay. I just want to kind of go over this. The parcel was removed from the present use value program, and the rollbacks were generated for the tax years of 2016 through 2019. We used the current date of the disqualification was the date the deed was recorded, so 19 will be the starting year. Then we'll go back those other 3 years. Also, a discovery letter was also mailed to Mr. Presley informing him that a discovery bill would be coming in January because the 2020 tax bill also was assessed at present use value. So if we're rolling it out for those prior years, the 2020 current year should be taxed at market value. So that would be coming, depending on how you rule here, that would be coming down the road. So that's informing him that the discovery bill would be issued in January of 2020 for that 2020 tax year. I've noticed a little, made note of some timeline of events there for you. The tract was transferred from Mr. Presley's mom to him on February the 20th of 19. Per statute, the new owner has 60 days to reapply for the farm use program. Our office mailed the new owner applications on September the 16th of 19, and we mailed them again on January the 8th of 2020. That was just by, U.S. Postal Service. On August the 18th of 2020, we started generating the rollback estimate, and it was mailed to inform the owner of the upcoming rollback bills as a result of not reapplying into the program. A second estimate was mailed October the 14th of 2020, and these were sent, as Robin said, regular mail and certified mail. Mr. Presley stated he never received the farm reapply applications or the rollback estimates. All right, so as a result of not receiving the applications back to our office, the parcel was removed from the present use value program, and we generated those rollback bills. And after speaking with Mr. Presley about that confirmed delivery, with the certified mail, he said he didn't get it, and I started looking at it and said, well, let me just send you what we have that came back to us with the signatures on there. And so I did that, and so Mr. Presley said those were not his signatures on the certified receipt like we talked about before. So Mr. President did provide other documents that had signature on them to show the difference in the signatures, and I do have those on file if you want to see them. A reapply application was received November the 24th of 2020 to reapply into the program under Mr. Presley's name. So Mr. Presley would like to appeal the rollback bill and to be reinstated in the use value program. The parcel, after reviewing the application that just came in November, based on the size, income, that's being farmed, all that would meet the program and would have been approved if it was a timely application. So that's kind of how, the string of events happened, that the rollback bills were generated and being removed from the program. So basically, it was removed for lack of response. But as you see, we tried several times to make that happen, and that's kind of where we're at.
So if we rule to accept a late application, that would take care of his issue?
Yes.
Most likely.
We would issue the release of the rollback bills, make it current in PUV, and there will be no discovery bill in January
Yeah.
because he would be back into the program.
What was the amount of the annual taxes while his mother owned the property?
It was, don't hold me to it because I know the tract was not that large. I think it was less than $100.
How much?
Less than $100 while it was in PUV.
Okay. So how much, what kind of, what's the amount of bill you sent him?
I didn't add it up. I think he had mentioned, around $3,000, a little over?
Yes, sir.
Beg your pardon?
3,100.
Okay. Okay. Anything for Steve?
Well, when you go back those years, the bill you get it's not for the same amount that it would have been if it would have been in the farm program. It's the actual value.
We collect the difference between the farm rate, which in this case, open land was like $385 an acre, and whatever that market value is. That difference per acre is then multiplied out based on that tax bill plus interest for those years.
Yeah, I've had a little experience with that myself.
Yeah.
Where's this property located at?
It's in the Beaufort Township. I'm trying to remember, I can't remember the road that it was on. Was it Plyler? What Plyler Mill was it?
Joe Broom,
Joe.
Field Mill.
Okay, sure. Below Alton.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Mike, Dutch, Mark, any questions?
So the reason it rolled back is because the land was transferred from his mother to him.
Well, it was the lack of not reapplying into the program, because by statute, you have
Okay,
60
that's
days
why
to
it
do that.
caused it. Okay,
And that's what caused it.
Mr. Chairman, I don't I'd like to make a motion if we had answered all the questions. Has anybody got anything else?
No?
Nope.
Y'all mind if I make a motion?
I'd like you to, if you,
I make a motion, we accept the untimely thing and provide it for him.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Like sign, no? Mike, you all right? Okay. Yeah, I really don't have a problem, we voted for it, but since the use of the property has not changed, I got this fair ruling.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
It is what it is.
It'd be a little different.
Thank you, Mr. Presley.
All right, thank y'all very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service too.
All right. Hearing number 2?
Yeah, I think that information is actually right behind Mr. Presley's information under hearing number 1.
Hearing number 2 is parcel ID number 02-303-058D. Wash One LLC.
Anybody here from Wash One?
No, sir.
Okay.
All right, I'll fill you in on this one. This was, Wash One LLC is also Dennis Moser. He purchased this, it's a 4-bay self-serve car wash with a 1-bay drive-through car wash. He purchased it for $100,000. We had $275,700 on it. He wants it put at $100,000. He said that the equipment had been stolen from the inside of the building. So what I did is I lowered the value $124,300 because it looked like the land was a little high on that one as well. This is well, just let me back up. It's in Marshville, right beside the Food Line and Shopping Center when you go just east of town.
You have to go into the shopping
You have
center.
to go
that
into
one.
the shopping
Yeah.
center to get to it.
I remember that.
And so that's where it's located, but yeah, it needs a little spiff up, and it needs the equipment, so I lowered it, but I'm not gonna take the value off of it because it still has value from a cost approach standpoint. Now, whether or not he wants to use it as a car wash, not really concerned with that. This is what it would cost to have that structure on that property minus the equipment, because this type of property, Marshall and Swift says that it includes equipment inside the building on this one. So I felt like I'd given him a fair reduction, but he still, we're at $151,400. He wants $100, and I just didn't feel like I could go any further because the building still has value. It still has the outside equipment, still got all the vacuums, the coin-operated wands, a lot of the other things that are coin-operated. Everything's on the outside. He stated that the interior equipment had been removed. So that's where we are.
He's got some competition too, right across the street. I think I was aware when that was built years ago, a family that lives near me. And so you're down to 151?
So did you, has it always been based on cost of product? You didn't get any kind of income on
No,
it?
no.
That's why
It's
you
just
use cost
the
of
whole,
product?
whole county's done on the
Right.
cost approach.
And
Now,
then
we
looking at-
consider
and then looking at-
income, but he didn't provide any of it.
Right.
He just bought it last year, so.
So when you finally looked at it and lowered the cost based on equipment, you said something about the land value was too high.
Yeah, we had somebody had put a modifier on it a few years back and had bumped the land up to
Okay.
100,000, because this is based on 2015 values,
Right.
not 2020. So the land went from 100,000 to 77,000, is what I put on the land.
Okay, and you took that off too,
Mhm.
and you came down to 151,
Yep.
okay?
Any questions, Mike?
I don't have
Dutch? Mark?
I don't have any question.
I make a motion, we accept the values outlined by the county.
151?
Yeah.
Good.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Hearing number 3.
Hearing number 3, account number 413131, Parkdale, America.
Good morning, gentlemen. And on this side of the fence,
You said gentleman, and then you called me out separately. Am I not a gentleman?
I believe that's correct.
how's everybody doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
I hope you're doing well. There you go. Thank you, ma'am.
Again, good morning, gentlemen. Parkdale America LLC, Plant 21. This facility is located in Mineral Springs, if I remember correctly. And they appealed their tax bill, and the documentation that they sent in to us was that they wanted the A10T textile depreciation schedule applied to all the equipment that Parkdale had between 2009 and prior. We've been working with Parkdale ever since 2010, you know, with the fluctuation of the market and everything on this equipment. I spoke with the representatives from BDO last night after reviewing the documentation with staff, and the letter in front of you is what I sent to BDO. And they did send an acceptance email back to me this morning. So what I'd like the board to vote on is that we apply an A10T schedule to all the assets 2003 and prior, and that we do a drawdown on the assets acquired in 2004 and 2005, that being a 15% residual for 2020, a 10% residual for 2021, and then a 5% residual for 2022. If you have any questions, I'll be more than
They
happy.
each approved it, they agreed to what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's basically a staff recommendation
There
at
you
this
go.
point.
Well, I'm not gonna argue.
I'm not,
No, me either.
I make a motion, we accept the staff recommendation.
Thank you, Mark.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Like sign no? Okay. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome. I think I'm the next one, too. Am I the next one, Velma? No.
Hearing number 4, account ID 599879, Ryan.
So on October the 8th, we had discussed Ryan's appeal on various properties. Unfortunately, when we did our decision vote, we actually left one account off the list, and it was a Dollar Tree. So my request to the board today is that we carry forward that decision from October 8th. Again, just to kind of, sum it up, basically what Ryan was saying is that there was a economic obsolescence that should have been applied to, if I remember correctly, we were looking at Harbor Freight, Dollar Tree, Olive Garden, Buy Low, and we had one more, didn't we? And I can't remember.
Longhorn,
Huh?
yeah, Longhorn Steakhouse.
No, it wasn't Longhorn. No, we only had one restaurant.
Harris Teeter,
Harris Teeter. No.
yeah.
Was it Harris Teeter?
Harris Teeter was in that.
Okay. He's always right. But we had left off one Dollar Tree account. And the board's decision is that we uphold the county's values and not apply an additional economic obsolescence. A little bit of a backstory with Harris Teeter. We've been hearing this for, I think this is the second year now, that Harris Teeter has been requesting a significant reduction in value because they don't feel like the county is adhering to the mass appraisal principles the way we should be. So Harris Teeter is at the Court of Appeals or
It's in the Supreme Court right
Supreme
now.
Court.
Essentially, this appeal is an appeal on the state depreciation schedules that are provided by the Department of Revenue. We didn't change any of the assets that any of these companies have listed, and we applied the schedule as guided by the Department of Revenue. And I think the case that is at the Supreme Court right now, Harris Teeter lost at the PTC. They lost at the Court of Appeals, and then so they've appealed to the Supreme Court. The oddity of the case at the Supreme Court, the county also appealed to the Supreme Court based on standing. And so both parties, even though Mecklenburg County won the case, they appealed to the Supreme Court saying the case should have never been heard because Harris Teeter didn't follow legal procedures related to their initial appeal to the Property Tax Commission. So there's a number of factors here, but the bottom line is from the standpoint of this appeal is the depreciation schedules that are provided by the Department of Revenue.
So what I'm asking you to do is to vote in to the way you voted in October 8th for this one account so I can send a decision letter.
I'll make that motion that we
Thank you, Mark.
deal with the extra Dollar Tree. Is it the same way we dealt with the other ones back in whenever we?
October 8th.
October 8th.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign, no. All right, thank you, Robin.
All righty. Am I the next one?
Hearing number 5, account ID 415574, Tyson Foods.
This is another staff recommendation. Of course, we can't change the value after the tax bills go out. But Joe and our auditors went out to Tyson's property and reviewed their equipment, what was being taxed as personal property and what was being taxed as real property. Joe did identify some equipment that was being double taxed by both sides. So what I'm asking is that you approve the staff recommendation to remove the equipment that was being taxed by personal property because it's already being taxed as real estate. Both the taxpayer and the county agree to the value that you have before you.
Make a motion, we accept the staff recommendation.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Like sign, no. Thank you.
Right.
Hearing number 6 is parcel ID number 05162-007A, Marian House.
This is another staff recommendation from the tax office. This has not been agreed upon by the taxpayer. In this case, the taxpayer requests an approval of a late elderly and disabled application. We received the application November 10th. Applications are due in the office June 1st when it's an elderly disabled. So it's quite a bit late. Van sent an excellent email to the taxpayer outlining the conditions on which we would accept a late application, and we have received no response from the taxpayer. So my request to the board this morning is that you accept the staff's recommendation to deny the application because it was untimely, and we have no basis to approve a late application.
Yeah, so the county's reached out and she just hadn't responded.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion, we accept the staff recommendation as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Like sign, no. All right, thank you.
I think that sums up our day.
9:30.
Just a few, before we adjourn, just a few comments. I appreciate you being here today. We had to reschedule from last week. I know we had a lot of factors that went into play in that, and so we couldn't get a quorum, but we were able to reconvene today. This is our last meeting for the year. Appreciate your time this year. Next year's gonna be a busy one. We've got the reappraisal taking effect January 1st. So we will start meetings early April. And based on what projected increases are in value, we expect a decent amount of appeals, but we think we'll handle most of those at the informal level. Phil and I were talking yesterday, and going back to 2008 with a similar type increase, I think the board ended up with, 500 appeals that actually came to the board out of 7,000. So we should be able to handle the bulk of that in the informal level. As such, I would plan on, we're gonna work on putting a tentative meeting schedule together. You can plan on meeting 2 days a week, probably for a few months, and as we work through that process. I've spoken with most everybody on the board. I don't think I ever spoke with you about it, but I think Randy is gonna agree to, if the Board of County Commissioners approves it, Randy has agreed to be the chairman for the BER process. Of course, that is subject to Board of County Commissioner approval.
That's out. I'm out.
We will
Y'all start
know,
making phone calls.
we'll know early February. We'll have that on the agenda for them to approve. But outside of that, again, I appreciate your time. If we can help you out in any way, let us know.
Is Ray still on the,
Ray is still on the board.
Okay, good.
He should be here. I don't think anybody expires next year. We'll double check that.
Okay.
Because if he is, we'll have to either get him to re-up or find a replacement. But I think everybody's term runs past next year, if I remember correctly.
We usually don't meet that week of spring break when the schools are out.
Typically, no.
We'll be gone. I don't know what that week is.
Is
Okay.
that March or April, Dutch?
Huh?
Is that March or April?
I don't know.
I see it ebbs
I
and
don't even know.
flows.
I just know we're gone.
And who knows if schools are even gonna be in session
That's
then.
true.
I mean,
That's
it's
true.
one of
Yeah.
those things that
Yeah.
we just don't know yet. But if it's March, it's irrelevant because
right.
the BR start in April. But we can work around that. And we've also had discussions, and I'm not sure if we've got statutory authority to do this yet. We're looking into it, about seeing if we can get a couple of alternate members appointed in case somebody can't be here. And that way we still have a full panel. So we'll take a look at that. I know Mecklenburg County had 3 full panels and they all met simultaneously, because of their appeal volumes. We don't expect anything like that, but if somebody has to be absent and we can have a fill-in that's familiar with the process and understands everything, that might not be a bad idea as we go through this. 'Cause, well, I mean, it's gonna be a busy year. We know that. It's nothing out of the norm, but we're prepared. So,
what's the, I know we've met on Thursday afternoon, some, is there, would it be all right to meet Thursday mornings rather than Thursday afternoons, or like Tuesday morning, Thursday mornings, or is that put a hardship
so
on somebody?
during a reappraisal cycle, what we tend to do, so we have flexibility for taxpayers, because that's really kind of what drives that meeting schedule. We'll have a morning meeting and we'll have a late afternoon meeting, so that people that can't get off work to come in the mornings, they can show up in that later afternoon time frame. We really haven't wrapped our head around that schedule yet and the details. I haven't looked back at the last one, but I would anticipate at least every other week having an evening, like 5 to 7 type time frame. We've got, again, we're just talking about it. We really haven't looked at the schedule yet, but we'll get that out to you guys as soon as we can.
Well, Randy, I hope you become chairman.
Do what?
You know, the fact that you want to do it in the mornings sounds good.
We just need to make sure we have accessibility.
Sure.
And as much as possible for taxpayers.
Well, I just think you give them the day of the week choice, and, you know, and they're only coming in for one meeting more than likely.
Right.
So they can make some arrangements, but, that's, you know, I'm good either way, but I just prefer, I like these early morning or earlier morning meetings.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Thank
all I
y'all
got.
for what y'all do. Appreciate it.
Thank
Joe,
y'all.
Steve,
Y'all have a good,
Robin,
happy holiday.
Dan.
And you'll need to make a motion to adjourn the twenty
Yeah,
twenty BER.
motion to adjourn for the year?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor? Let's get out of here.
Yep.
All in favor?
All right, you guys have a
Let's go,
good,
Randy.
you guys have a good
You're a
Christmas.
good man.
Y'all have a Merry
You
Christmas
really
too.
don't I appreciate you doing that. I think the chairman ought to get those. I really do.
Get your Christmas bonus.
I think she,
Hold it in the road, Mike.